here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
Welcome into Fantasy TE. Welcome back. Once again, my name is Nick Masick. We've also got Lonnie Cox and Vital DeJuiced, and our special guest this evening, fellow comedian, South Florida comedian, and fantasy football aficionado, Lando Gonzalez. Welcome, everybody, Lando Gonzalez.
What's up, gang?
Welcome. Nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Lando's not in our league yet, but he is on our wait list. So
you make it sound so official. Like we have a
it's not, listen, it's not unofficial. We're happy
to be considered.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, man. We're just talking about our DraftKings. We'll get to DraftKings again later in the podcast. We usually do that right before the end of the podcast. So we got a lot of stuff to cover, but first of all, Lando, just give us your quick background on fantasy football and how you're doing so far this year. Let us know what's going on with your teams.
Just like my backstory of fantasy football started when I was about 14, 15 years old. That was my obsession. That was after a few years of getting familiarized with actual football. I'm a Dolphins fan, unfortunately. I think Vital, that resonates there. Although it's good this week, but that's basically my life with the Dolphins. It's good this week, and then it's like coming back to an abusive relationship repeatedly. But yeah, I've been playing fantasy football for about 13 years now, obsessively. I'm in 6 leagues this year, 2 dynasty leagues, 4 redrafts. Yeah, my wife is not a big fan of me during these 6 months. Yeah, my life just essentially starts revolving around either comedy and this is what I'm doing constantly.
Yeah.
And what was the other question?
So how's your so you're in 6 different leagues. How highlights and lowlights so far this year? How are your teams doing? What's going on?
So I'll start with a low light. I joined the Dynasty League a year ago, and I was going for immediate win strategy, right? I wanted to win within the next 2 years. So I drafted a team that was a little bit heavier on veterans, right? Mm-hmm. Because I figured, worst case scenario, I can just take my running backs, trade them away for first rounders, and then rebuild later. So this summer, I invested full blown into running backs and basically abandoned my wide receivers because I'm like, all right, I got Allen Robinson. He's going to hold it down. Not a high ceiling guy, but consistent at least. Yeah, that phase that you made, that's exactly how I felt started this season.
Well,
I traded
it
away
was solid logic. It was solid logic.
Up until this year, that was very accurate. Yeah.
He was a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler, right? Consistently, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's always in there, man. It's like one of these like super underrated guys that gets consistent points week in and week out. I mean, on the field, he's, I think, one of the top receivers in the game. Yeah. But fantasy-wise, considering his quarterback history, he hasn't really had a ton of like high ceiling potential. But when I had already invested in Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, I had Damian Harris, I had Antonio Gibson, all in that team. I traded away all my wide receivers to get those guys. I figured, all right, I just need basic low floor guys that won't kill me. Mm-hmm. So I had my hopes in that team too. So basically, that entire team has tanked consistently since the start of the season. I had 2 great scoring games, and everything else has been downhill from that point on.
It's rough. Yeah. Are you doing well in any of your leagues?
Yeah, I'm actually doing okay in a couple of them. I tend to go for drafting from one pool of what I think are really, really good teams. So like Cowboys this year, the Rams, I got a lot of. And one of my teams have Kyler Murray, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, and DeAndre Hopkins, which I recently traded for. That team I'm doing really well in.
What did you do during that bye week, bro? Did you just sacrifice that?
Oh, yeah. Punted. Yeah. Just started grabbing any scrubs, just like Joey, like anybody who I could put on my team.
Yeah, that's one strategy I've utilized as well in the past. And I think I might even have that going on this year in some of my teams where, you just like, you get a bunch of guys, you try almost like if it just kind of happens, but like you get a bunch of guys from the same bye week and you're just like, fuck it, that week I'm not going to win. But it's better than kind of struggling through like 8 weeks, of like, I need a guy here, I need a guy there. So it's an interesting strategy to use and not always totally ineffective. So All right. Cool. So let's catch up on our fantasy weeks from this week. Vital, what is going on, man? I think you have the closest matchup right now in our league.
Yeah.
Coming into tonight.
It's pretty close. I mean, honestly, it looks like I'm gonna lose. Score is 101. I'm up, and he has 65. But he has Matthew Stafford, who was Daryl Henderson, George Kittle, and Sony Michael.
Michelle.
I have
Sony Michelle. He won't score any points.
Probably not. But I mean, he's essentially playing his handcuff. If Darrell Henderson goes out, then Michelle's going to get the points. So he's like,
yeah,
he's playing literally in-game handcuff.
I just need them to have a bad game. And Elijah Michelle. So I need San Francisco. I really just need the Rams to implode, honestly, and George Kittle to be out of it. But if Elijah Mitchell, I'm up 40 points. It's possible.
There's a lot that can happen. I think if Mitchell ends up with a lot of game script, if he has a big game, I think you win. Honestly.
Yeah, but they can't get down too early. Like, that's the thing. He has to be at least in it till the half so he gets some decent yards. Like,
yeah,
because then they're just going to try to throw it. I wish I had Deebo Samuel in this league. I have my other league. Oh, I think he's going to get.
I wish I had Deebo Samuel in every league. Yeah.
Right.
Should have had him in our league. Maybe.
Shut up about Deebo Samuel. I need him to not score. Let's see.
You need him to not. You're pretty safe, but not totally safe.
No. Shut your mouth. Don't say it.
I don't know, man.
Say it. Everyone be quiet. No. Don't say it. Don't say a word.
44 points is what Lonnie does not.
What is it? 34?
44. No, it's a big number.
It's 34. It's 34.
Is it 34?
It's 110 to 143 right now.
Really?
Yeah, dude, that's
100.
Yeah, he scored 38 points already this season.
Dude, especially in this game where they might be behind, they're gonna start to have to throw it.
But it's the Rams defense, though, dude. This isn't. I don't know.
Yeah, but
let's see.
even late in the game, you know, you gotta play prevent late, so they're gonna get a bunch of.
He scored 33 against
30.
Detroit.
Yeah,
and 38 against Seattle. So two terrible defenses.
It's definitely.
I should be straight.
It's certainly possible, but I feel like I think he's going to see a lot of Jalen Ramsey. I know Ramsey could play Kittle a lot, but I think Debo's been the guy who's been going off, and they have the linebackers to run with Kittle, I believe.
Correct.
So I think he's going to see a lot of Ramsey, and that's going to be tough. I mean, it's always tough. It's tough for everybody. Not that he can't do it, and they're very creative about ways that they get him the ball. But man, 34 is a tall task, even for Deebo Samuel. Certainly capable, but I think you're pretty safe. Vital is the closer of the matchups, but right now you're looking pretty good at. And
my team has really turned around, huh?
Your team was never bad. You got more points than I did.
Had a couple bad breaks.
I think
I'm actually I think 2 or 3 in the league in points right now. My points scored is not bad.
No, your points scored is higher than mine.
I know that if I know there's a lot of teams sitting right. Like if I win this week, I'll be at 5-5. And I know that there's there's going to be a huge gap in there, and I'll win the tiebreaker.
You'll win the tiebreaker.
Of all of those teams right now, based on points scored.
Based on your point total, you're going to be in pretty good shape if you win. Right. Both of you guys are going to be in pretty good shape, but I don't know. Did you guys realize this? So if Vital, for instance, if Vital loses and Lonnie wins, you guys are going to be tied at 5-5. With a very close point total. Like that could, I mean, you'll be a little bit ahead, I think, Lonnie, but not by much.
Yeah, Lonnie's up on me by 8 points right now.
Right. But he'll gain a little ground probably tonight.
We'll still be 3-4 most likely.
What's that? You'll be what?
Won't we be 3-4 in points scored?
Probably, yeah. No, I think I'm going to pass you, Vital. If everything holds as predicted, I'll be ahead of you a little bit. I'll be right in between you.
Yeah, you're right there. You're only 9 points.
But did you guys, I don't know if you guys realize this, you play against each other in the final week of our regular season.
Then I'll be cruising to Championshipville. And it shouldn't matter too much. I'm just kidding. I'm terrified. I just don't want to fucking do a dance.
It's gonna be so fun. I told you last week what our penalty is, right? The Nico bowling dance. You have to dance to Nico bowling side. And Nico was actually at the open mic last night when I was saying that was last week. Yeah, it was last week we were hanging out there. But I think it's gonna be really difficult, honestly, for both of you guys to make the playoffs because you have that head-to-head in week 13. That might be what tips the scales. It's not impossible. You guys could still both make it, but to both be in the top 6, starting, even if you lose and you win right now, like you guys are going to be head to head. That's going to be really fun for the last week.
Yeah. And we're not going to have our Packers.
All the Packers are out. That's a Packers bye week. Oof, it's gonna be
that's a brutal bye week. If you draft the
Which
Packers.
one is it? It's the last week of the regular season.
Week 13.
For us.
Yeah, I shouldn't even told you. Left you quarterbackless.
I mean, I got Ben Roethlisberger, baby. I'm good.
Yeah. Those 6 points really would have helped you.
Listen, my team, Ben Roethlisberger is going to pretend that your team is in the bathroom and he wants something that you're not willing to give. All right, he's going to take it.
He's just going to take it from you. That actually is the Packers with you guys head to head is actually a pretty even thing because you've got Adams, right, Vital, and Lonnie, you've got Rodgers. So
Aaron Rodgers has not done shit for me this year. He has not won me any games. You know what I mean? Like he's been decent, but he has not won me.
He's not
anything.
been great. No, he's not been great.
I mean, I think the most he scored is 24 the whole year, which is insane.
But Devontae Adams has been treating me good, so this does hurt me. which is
so funny. Is that's it's interesting that Rodgers has not been doing great, but Adams has.
But that makes sense though because he's getting we get penalized.
I know he's getting so many more points. Yeah,
yeah. The sacks are wild. Like
dude, we gotta stop that next season because that's crazy.
Yeah. I am casting a ballot in the Congress of Fantasy TE to remove the sacks.
Hey, they really fuck you
up. How much do you guys score per sack?
The sacks.
A point. You lose 1 point.
1 point for each sack.
Each sack. That's a lot, dude. That's like the most I've ever had in any league.
It's got to be
whatever.
Like
that's
0.5.
That's good. This is a good number.
We also because the thing is then it really gears towards running quarterbacks.
We also it doesn't though because I balance it out. No, listen. I balance it out by making passing touchdowns worth 5 points. So your quarterback, it may fluctuate more, but when a passing touchdown is worth, you get an extra point for a passing touchdown. That helps balance the scales in terms of the running quarterbacks. And there's plenty of running quarterbacks who take a lot of sacks. Russell Wilson, running quarterback, takes a lot of sacks. Lamar Jackson takes a lot of sacks. So I like the way the points where they're at, man. I think if you take a sack, you should lose a point. That's a fucking mistake. It's a bad thing.
Lando, what do you think?
First of all, the idea of losing points for sack, that's pretty unique. I haven't encountered that in another league before, but I really do like it because I think fundamentally a sack is a quarterback stat, right?
Yes.
Like I think if you're holding
it's an offensive line stat.
Yeah, 100%.
It shows the quality of an offensive line. It has nothing to do with the quarterback.
And then sometimes it is a smart QB play to take a sack instead of like risking a bad throw. That's a rookie mistake to try to get it out and get hit.
Fair enough, but there are quarterbacks that take one too many sacks. They end up holding the ball for too long. I think of Tannehill during his years with the Dolphins. That was a huge problem with Tannehill.
You know,
he waited too long for plays to develop, and that was entirely his fault. The offensive line was bad, granted, but that's ultimately
let me pitch my case here. Patrick Mahomes in our league has scored 239 points. Okay. Third in points is Josh Allen, which makes sense at 228. Fourth in our league is Jalen Hurts with 216 points. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 25 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has thrown 13 touchdowns. Your Honor.
So it doesn't balance. The touchdowns don't balance.
Your Honor.
Patrick Mahomes leads the league in turnovers right now.
10 turnovers.
No, 19.
He's got 10 interceptions.
And like 9 fumbles. Like he leads the league in turnovers. And he's still leading in points.
Can I pitch this?
Reasonable.
How about the penalties don't start until the first 3 sacks?
No,
come on, man.
Dude, if a quarterback is taking sacks, they should count against him.
I don't believe that.
I don't care. There's no way to penalize an offensive line. There's no point thing that you can attack.
So exactly. So why are you penalizing the QB?
Because it's part of his game. It's part of the game.
Get out of here, man.
It's part of, listen, if it's part of the game, it's part of our fantasy.
That's I will say though, I do think
you don't get negative points in football for getting sacked.
You get negative yards in football.
If it's part of the game. You don't get
negative points in football for throwing an interception.
If it's part of the game and should be part of our fantasy, I suggest next year we consider, I don't think we have to do it, we should consider doing IDP.
Oh, that is such a huge wrinkle. And I'm not opposed to it entirely, but honestly, I'd rather add head coach before I add IDP. Because it's just like it's head, because when you add head, and also we're going to change a bunch of things anyway next year. We're going to add a bunch of new twists next year anyway. And I like to do that gradually so as to not confuse the elderly people that are in our league too much.
Say Steve's name.
I want IDP because I am the defensive wizard.
How's your defense doing this year?
Number 3 overall in the NFL.
Wait, who did he pick?
They lost big yesterday, but the Cleveland Browns are the number 3 overall defense in the NFL. Again, the defensive wizard.
What was the answer? I thought you said you could pick the best defense. We got to roll the tape. Was that not it?
He did.
I will pick a good defense no matter what. And I picked the Cleveland Browns. They have not scored crazy in fantasy, but they are the number 3 defense in the NFL in total defense. The defensive wizard again.
It's a long season.
We'll see how that plays out. We're halfway through the season. They just lost 45-17. So
it didn't. Yeah. It wasn't great yesterday. I'll admit it.
Good yesterday.
But we do have the defensive player of the year candidate right now. The leading candidate for defensive player of the year. Yep. It's a pretty good
over Diggs.
Yeah, I would say Myles Garrett has pulled away because he hasn't done anything in the last couple of weeks. I knew that was going to die out. Because they're not going to throw to him anymore.
They're not going to throw to him, and which is also adds value. And I do think they take that into consideration.
Yeah, no, they do. I mean, he might win it, but I mean, if what's his name didn't win it 2 years ago, the guy from the Dolphins, what's his name?
Howard.
Xavier Howard. Like if he didn't win it, I don't know. Like the days of Stephon Gilmore won it, but he was all over the place.
He just won it.
I think he could still.
He's still,
especially if the Dallas keeps blowing
the thing is he would need to be like forcing
something.
fumbles, recovering fumbles. Like he would need to be doing more than just intercepting the ball. He would really need to be like making his case throughout the field, which he's not. He's not like a super dominant defensive player. Like he's great. Don't get me wrong, but he's not like his presence is breaking corner. Like you know what I mean?
Not yet. He's almost
not yet
getting there.
Correct.
He's young. He's still so young. That's the thing. He's definitely I mean, the likelihood that he could win one at some point in his career is very real possibility. But he's a really young talent. All right. Well, since you guys are you guys finished complaining about sack points against quarterbacks?
No. This is going to come up to a vote. I want this as Parliament style in the next year.
Yes. We should bring it to the floor.
This is, I don't know about, we'll see.
What? Look at this.
Maybe. What's so wrong about, why would you not want to have sacks as a
listen, we spent a lot of time on this already. We'll revisit
part of the game.
Wait a minute. Are defenses scoring a point for every sack?
Yeah.
Usually I think that.
So that's the punish. That's already there.
No, but I want it to count against the person who takes the sack. Sometimes you say sacks have nothing to do with the quarterback. Sacks have so much.
But then we have to expand everything. Receivers need to start getting negative points for interceptions. Like fucking everybody needs to start going like that.
You can't do that. Listen,
what do you mean? You can't.
You can't. There's
here's
no
the thing.
way to
here's
do
the thing.
it.
The NFL does not count sacks as a stat.
Yeah, they do.
Like the NFL does not on a quarterback stat line.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely on a quarterback stat line. How many sacks did he take this week? Yes, they count how many sacks each team.
But it's not. If you look at a quarterback stat line, it is not going to say how many sacks, like in his stat line.
Sometimes it does. When they have a bad
team stat.
When they have
a team stat.
It usually seems like they bring that up for the offensive line. They'll be like,
it is a 100% guarantee it's a team stat.
So take that into consideration when you're drafting your quarterback, which you do.
I will take it into consideration when I'm presenting
line?
my case on the floor of the Senate next year.
That's all we want. All we want is a fair trial.
All we want is the people to have a voice.
I will take it under advisement. But realistically,
we're bringing it to the league.
Right, I'm doing a petition. I'm getting names. Like I'm going out in the streets.
Yeah.
If you're trying to take a stat that happens in the NFL that they do track and take it out of fantasy football, I'm against it. I am.
It is not an individual stat. That is the basis.
I could Google it right now. How many sacks has so and so taken?
That's not my point. My point is
that is your point. That was exactly what you said.
It's a team stat. It's a team stat.
No, I can Google. I can find out how many sacks it's easier to find out how many sacks an individual quarterback has taken than it is to find out how many sacks a team has given up. It's a much more readily
I think that goes hand in hand. What do you mean? They're counting the same
team stat.
No, they're not. No, dude, because they play different quarterbacks throughout the year, like other quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's just an addition thing.
That is not what you will hear them talking about. You will hear them talking about how many sacks has this quarterback taken this year.
Not if they're making it's who they're focused on. If they're talking about the offensive line, they'll say, oh, the offensive line is attacked. If they're talking about the quarterback, he's like, oh, he's been hit this many times. And they never blame him.
Yes, they
usually
do.
like, oh, the offensive line is
Roethlisberger. Example A, Roethlisberger. How many sacks does he take? Is he responsible for a lot of those?
I have no idea how many sacks he's taken. I know he's beaten 2 rape cases. I know that's in his stat line.
Speaking of quarterback,
do to you this week?
How many points do you get for that?
For what? Being a rape case? It's a lot. Yeah, I think it's.
If you get convicted, it's minus 50.
Yeah, your team loses.
Hey, Nick, it's a part of the game. Real world stats.
So bad. Who's got Watson on their team right now?
Yeah, right. If you have Watson starting, you just lose your league. Like you
negative 300. Yeah, if you leave him in the starting line,
you just do the dance.
No.
Yeah, we should start a who got in trouble this week.
Listen,
thing in the NFL.
Here's the thing: there aren't all of these things. I wish there were more things that we could add in. Like I wish there was and I petition. I sent requests to the league, not the league, what is it?
The app?
Sleeper. Yeah, the app Sleeper. Like I want to be able to give receivers up 1 point when they draw a pass interference, but that's not an option yet. But I think that would be that you should get value for that because it is something that they do. And yeah, you could make an argument it could be for the quarterback, but I would rather give it to the receiver since instead of getting a catch and yards, you get something.
No, dude, that should be negative points on the defense, if anything.
I'm not opposed to that either. I think both,
negative.
Honestly.
Your logic doesn't what? You're giving QBs negative points for getting sacks. So that's a defensive error. Like for sure, way more than a sack is.
I am okay. Let me just for the jury. Let me just say I am okay in theory with the quarterback losing points for getting sacked, but I think 1 point for every sack is tremendous. Like that is an incredible amount of sacks. Like
I think
points.
2 freebies.
Like Justin Fields got sacked 9 times in one game, and like he lost 9 points off of that game.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like that is a lot of points to lose.
Some bad quarterback play.
Shitty offensive line. You know what I mean?
Like it's also bad quarterback play. It's one of the things you have to take into consideration. That's all it is. But I think I'd balance it out. Yes, there are negatives that the quarterbacks can take, but I balance it out by giving them 5 points for passing touchdowns. And that is significant. That's an whole extra point versus what the standard is for a passing touchdown. So it's also one of the ways I try to balance out passing pocket quarterbacks versus rushing quarterbacks because the rushing touchdowns are only 1 point higher than a passing touchdown, which is why you see guys who are pocket passers, Brady, Stafford, still scoring good amounts of points.
I think maybe the points on a passing touchdown should be more than. Maybe
you want them the same as a rushing touchdown? I'll consider it, but it's not something.
Compromise. We're getting there.
Listen, I'll consider.
Because I can see the numbers you're doing, but like to balance it out in my head, I think the touchdown would then need to be worth a little more because it's way more likely that a QB is getting sacked a bunch in a game and starts rolling like that. Because if a QB scores like they're 3 touchdowns up, usually, unlike after a certain while, they'll stop throwing.
I see your point, but the only reason I'm not necessarily on board with that, I'm not opposed to it entirely, but is I don't want to overvalue quarterbacks so much more than the rest of the positions. I want them to still maintain they're a very high value position as it is, even with the sacks as they are. So I don't want to increase their value too much to disrupt the kind of like the balance of the player value in our league. I think right now player value is pretty even, like across the board.
Yeah, it's even because everyone has to go through it.
Positionally, even running backs who don't get a lot of points are still valuable because we have to use them, and that's you know what I mean. Like I like the idea of being able to trade a pretty good quarterback for an okay running back, for a really good receiver, for a excellent tight end. Like I like the kind of like the parity of all those positions being valued. Does that make sense?
I get it. Like what I'm questioning is how far the level of parity should go. Pretty much.
If you look at the numbers in our league right now, the quarterbacks are scoring a good amount, but not outrageously more than everybody else. I mean, Mahomes had a huge week this week, but he's had some really bad weeks because he's had some bad games.
3 weeks in a row, scoring less than 20 points for me, I think.
Yeah, but I want when quarterbacks have a bad game, I want them to have bad points. That's kind of the point, like if they don't play well on the field, if they don't play well for their team, if they had a bad week, I want them to score poorly.
Right, but maybe we could talk about 0.5.
Maybe. Okay. But I already have interceptions as a -2, I think, and a fumble loss as a -2. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see. But I definitely want it to still be scored. And I think -1 is good. I think it should hurt a little bit. But -0.5 is
taking a sack isn't that bad, is what I'm saying. Compared to the fumble, I agree with the fumble. I agree with the interception. That's crazy. You fucked up. Sometimes it is a smart play to take the sack. That's what
sometimes it is. Sometimes it is a start. And sometimes by taking that sack, you avoid throwing the interception. -1 instead of -2. And you get the opportunity. And you get the opportunity to make a completion on the next play.
I do blitz you. You hold the ball. Come on, that's
happens, man. You gotta take the good with the bad. I'm not going to take it out entirely, but I will take into consideration lowering the total. But I don't like it necessarily too much because of our inflated passing touchdown points. All right, we should get to news of the week. This has been a great debate. However, let's talk about arguably the hottest team for sure in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans. Woo! Losing Derrick Henry and dude, their win streak is ridiculous. I saw the teams that they beat. Have you seen the teams that they've beaten?
I told you last week they beat all the guys. I think every team that was in the playoffs last year, or something like that. Something crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, every playoff, like out of 5 of their last 6 games have been against playoff contenders, and they've won every single one.
Yeah, I mean they're just looking so tough. Who did they beat this week? They beat somebody else that was pretty good.
The Saints.
Saints.
The Saints.
Saints were looking good. They pounded them to the ground. And that's without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry he hasn't been ruled out entirely for the playoffs, but they're saying it's possible. It's very maybe even likely that he doesn't play for the rest of the year. So that's something. It's such a hard loss to take, a hard blow to take for a team that has championship aspirations, to lose your best player and arguably one of the best players in the league, arguably the best player in the league. But for them to keep winning it's incredible. I feel like he is going to do everything because of how good they are. He's going to do everything he can to come back if possible for a playoff run. Whether that has any fantasy implications or not, remains to be seen.
I agree.
Yeah, if he can come back, he will. Lonnie, Cowboys bounce back game. Big time.
I talked about it last week. That's what I wanted to see. I was curious to see how they would bounce back. The Falcons are not a terrible team. They that offense has been kind of coming back a little bit. I think their record in the NFC South, I don't think they're sitting at the bottom. I might be wrong.
No, they are now. Yeah, they are.
Now they are. But I think anyway.
It's not terrible though. They're not way behind the Saints and the Panthers. But yeah, it was a dominant performance. But that was also that matchup we talked about. Dan Quinn going against his former team, scheming against them, and they had their number. Big time. That was an impressive win. As far as teams having another team's number, how about the Washington upset? That was they look like they have the Bucs number. I mean, they played them tough in the playoffs last year, right down to the wire, and man, they just stomped on them. Did you guys catch that game?
Yeah, I feel like that's a perfect example of how the NFL is moving more towards just straight scheming. I think a lot of defense has more to do with matchups, and there's something about the Washington football team composition that just matches up so well against the Buccaneers. We saw it last year in the playoffs. Like that was like Tyler Heineke's like come out. Like he came out in the playoffs, he lit it up against the Buccaneers. And like Tom Brady struggled that game. They pass rushed him well, they defended him well. It's like what teams kind of did with Pat Mahomes. You know, they just started playing too high safety, and for 3 weeks it disappeared. It's like there's something about the Washington football team scheme that just like it gives Tom Brady fits for some reason.
Yeah, it was impressive. And even with Chase Young going out, which that sucks.
Yeah. That's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
He got hurt early and they still dominate. They put so much pressure on them, dude. I saw them. They were getting brave, jumping passes. The one that they almost picked off, dude. Those corners were on it.
Yeah. It really is disappointing that Chase Young is out. And when he went out, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna last. They're gonna now with Young out, they're not gonna be able to hold. They still held him. They still held him down big time. That was a huge upset. A couple other big upsets. Obviously, the one you guys referenced, the Dolphins upset. That was.
I thought you were gonna skip it. I was gonna jump on you,
man. No,
yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Those Thursday night games are tricky, man. And that one was a huge. I thought that was the biggest upset of the week, bigger than the Washington.
No, there's one more, a bigger upset for sure.
Oh, we'll get to that. I don't know which one.
Yeah, that one blew my mind.
What was the bigger upset? I don't know what was the bigger upset. Then
the Panthers and Cards.
Yeah, no, Cardinals minus Kyler Murray.
Dude, but 34
and
10, especially after the performance they had last week. It's one thing especially with a team where's Cam Newton been for 8 weeks? This dude came off his couch.
I know. Listen, I still think the Dolphins was the bigger upset. I mean, Tua wasn't even supposed to play, and he came in and led them.
No. You don't respect my Dolphins. We're always a great team. Even when we're losing, respect us.
I think the Ravens are a little more suspect maybe than we realized.
No, the Dolphins defense, I think, did a great job in that game. Like they really did. They put a lot of pressure on Lamar, and then they kept again like jumping passes, like a lot like Washington played Tampa Bay. You have to be.
Can I just say I hate this win. Like as a Dolphins fan, like I fucking hate that they're gonna go up.
We're gonna suck next week.
Yeah, because now I'm like, okay, is there a chance that we're gonna win 4 or 5 games in a row and maybe in the playoffs? Are we gonna go undefeated the rest of the? It's like there's a fucking voice in the back of my head that every year does this to me. It's like, oh shit, we beat a good team. We're gonna be okay, and it's just downhill. Like I just ruined my life from the beginning.
We're gonna miss the playoffs by 1 game. Like, are they gonna make the wild card? I don't want to be like, are the Dolphins actually good? Like, I just want to just believe they're bad. That's better for my mental health. You just have to enjoy the good. That's the only thing I've learned to do, dude.
Yeah, just like enjoying the moments. Like, forget about it.
Yeah, bask in it.
It was a fun Thursday night. The Dolphins showed up to play, and that's all you're gonna get.
How about your Patriots, though?
Yeah, the Patriots. Ooh, man, Patriots are looking hot. Oh man, they're coming on. They're coming on strong.
And I think they have an easy schedule too coming up.
I mean, I don't know. They do have the Dolphins again, I'm sure. So that's
they have the Dolphins, dude. I think they have the Falcons.
Yeah. The Jets again, probably.
Yeah, dude, they're clean slate to that.
I mean, I'm sure we have to play Buffalo at least once. I don't know if we played Buffalo yet, but that's going to be tough. That's going to be a really tough game. But Buffalo, they had a hiccup against the Jags. So that division is not out of reach all of a sudden. The Patriots look like.
It never was, though. The Patriots are never, ever going to be a bad team.
It felt the way the Bills were playing early in the season. It felt like, we might be able to make a run at the wild card, but it felt like the Bills were going to put it out of reach when we were, like a couple weeks.
I agree,
ago.
at least in the divisionally. Yeah,
division-wise.
The AFC is way more open. Everything, all the.
It is.
You know what I noticed about this year? Like no team seems like unbeatable. The last couple of years, there's like every team has had like some sort of major flaw. Like what do you remember being like the last like unstoppable seeming team? And it was like the year Baltimore went like 15-1 and just Lamar Jackson just lost his mind. Yeah, but then that was the year that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and the Chiefs, that Chiefs team seemed unstoppable when they hit the playoffs. So,
Those teams almost always fall in the playoffs. Those teams that are like super big throughout the regular season. They almost always don't make it to the Super Bowl, and if they do, they usually lose. Cam Newton, 15-1 comes to mind. The 16-0.
Everyone's scheming for you, dude.
So those teams usually get snuck up on by somebody, the 9-7 Giants or the Denver Broncos with Von Miller. Like, those teams,
the
for whatever
Packers.
reason.
Aaron Rodgers Packers, 10-6 Packers won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that was correct me if I'm wrong, that was a Cowboys team that was 15-1 or 14-2, I think, that year. They were very good that year. I think it was 13-3, but yes, very good. It was, I think it was a number 1 seed.
That was Zeke's first year.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a monster. Des did catch that ball, by the way. The NFL has.
He did. It changed the rule.
So we should have won the Super Bowl. No, that wasn't the year the Packers won. The Packers won in 2010.
But that was another year. The 2010 Cowboys was another year. I think the Cowboys had a really good team.
No, actually, that was the year that the Giants won. They should have beat the Giants and should have beat the Patriots.
Then beat the Patriots. Yeah, I remember thinking that. I was thinking it was going to be a Patriots Cowboys Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
and that was the Cowboys team. That was the best Cowboys team, I think.
I think this team's better.
You think this year's better? Really?
This year? Yeah, I think they're better.
I don't know. That was a great.
I feel like you say that every year, dude.
No. For real.
This is, guys,
shiny new,
the best defense I have ever seen by the Cowboys.
Last year, their defense has always sucked, and even on that 13-3 team, years and years ago, like that team, like their defense, they had DeMarcus Ware, they had Terrence Newman, they had
a couple playmakers.
Zach Thomas, I think was their.
Yeah, they had a couple guys who. They made plays at opportune times, but they weren't a great defense. They just did enough for that offense.
This year, I mean, if you look at our defense, like this is the best I think our defense has really ever been in my lifetime since, the big three. But, I mean, you've got Micah Parsons, Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence when he comes back, Xavier Diggs, Keanu Neal. Like you've got playmakers at every level pretty much. And again, like you don't need to be the best defense in the league when you're scoring 40 points a game,
Yeah.
Not only that, like the turnovers, like Diggs is on pace to beat the all-time interception record right now. He has like 8 interceptions so far into the season. That's insane.
Yeah, I think 7, something like that. Mm-hmm.
He just got 8 last game, right? Did he?
Oh, he got one yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, I did not see that. I did not see the highlights yesterday.
Yep.
Nice.
As a Matt Ryan owner, I felt that one.
Yeah.
No, I think the Cowboys are a legit contender. For sure, without a doubt, they're a legitimate contender. They didn't look like it last week against the Broncos, but every team's had one of those bad games so far this year. So
we'll lose to the fucking Saints in the first or second round.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. They could go on a run. They could easily go on a run this year. I could see it being that year.
It's all about who's healthy, who's going to be healthy at the end of the year, and if it's the Cowboys,
that could
why
be
not us?
Yep.
I think Texas might be cursed. Like the Cowboys are never going to win another Super Bowl. I don't believe it. I've seen with too many like powerhouse teams. Just like
and now you're jinxing all the rest of us, dude. You can't say something like that because then you're like when you say that, then that's the anti-jinx line.
I am confident that the Cowboys will not win the Super Bowl because they're playing so well. The Cowboys will only win the Super Bowl if they are like the least expected team to come in. They need to be in
right, like the 9-7 Giants.
They'll never be a sneaky team though, because everybody always talk. Then you can't. The Cowboys can't sneak up on anybody.
It's the paradox of the Cowboys.
It is. You're right. They'll never sneak up on anyone ever, ever. You cannot sneak up.
Now everyone's gonna have their eye out for them. Everyone's to beat America's team, dude. Oof, it's a bad look.
It's not gonna work. Let's see what else we got. Chiefs look like they're back, maybe, but they had a big week. They had a big game last night. But you know what? As lopsided as the final score was, I'll say this: the Raiders had their opportunities, and there were a couple of situations that went the Chiefs' way that could have easily gone the Raiders' way. But I really think that the Raiders losing Gruden has hurt Derek Carr's a lot. Gruden is the quarterback whisperer. Did you know he was talking to him through every pre-snap read? He was right there in his ear. I think. Did
you watch the game though? I only watched like the first half. I didn't think Derek Carr played that bad. A lot of drops on receivers and things, dude.
No,
I saw a lot of like I don't know if that was him.
He he didn't play that bad, but he didn't play up to his potential, and I feel like Gruden was really going to push him over the top to like maximize his potential. And it's disappointing to see the drop off, I guess. I'm not going to write them off. They can still easily make the playoffs. I think they're still in the mix to make the wild card for sure. Even the division's wide open now. But so the Chiefs, I just don't want to overreact to the Chiefs looking like they were back, like they might be back, but the Raiders didn't put up as much of a fight as they could have. And there were a couple big plays that went one way that could have gone the other way easily. So like the Deshaun Jackson play should have been a Deshaun Jackson touchdown. He just like turned the wrong way. Huh?
No,
it was weird, right?
That he was trying to juke.
I mean, he wasn't going to score, but it was a weird, especially for him, a guy with such vision usually.
I think he was trying to two-step the state safety, but then he just kind of punched out. Like,
he usually turns that into maybe, if not a touchdown, like first and goal easily, like he almost always, like you say, he has such great instincts. He almost always turns the right way. He jukes like before the guy even knows what he's going to do. Deshaun Jackson jukes him out of his shoes, and he just turned the wrong way and then got the ball popped out. It was a weird thing. And then the I'm not going to call it a Hail Mary, but the prayer that Mahomes threw up to Darrell Williams in the end zone, dude, that he got bailed out so hard on that. I mean, those two plays could easily have swung the other way. And then it could have very well been a Raiders, they get a little momentum and they could have taken it.
I'm with you. That's why I didn't think like Derek Carr's been playing that bad. The Raiders still look good. There was just like moments where they just like cost them.
Yeah, no, Derek Carr wasn't bad. I wasn't saying he was bad. He didn't have a bad game. I just think that Gruden really did, as a football mind, he was really putting them in the best situations. And
I don't know. I saw a thing that the players love it there. They're saying it's like night and day with whoever the new coach is. He's like saying he was under Gruden, like he was his right hand man. They just like, he just lets us go.
They live next to each other. They're neighbors, dude.
Oh yeah,
their houses they bought houses from the same block. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I think he's just as good if they're that close, dude.
Yeah, Gruden had he was a great football mind, man. I'm not saying the other guy's not good, but Gruden was a quarterback whisperer, dude. You got to remember, he was the quarterback coach when Favre won the Super Bowl. He's a quarterback whisperer. He's one of those guys. So
yeah, he's in their ear. He's like, listen, don't let these gays and blacks stop you from scoring this touchdown.
Yes, coach. Yes, coach.
I'm also, Nick, where's the list? He's all like, he's a great quarterback whisperer. You named Brett Favre. I was like, that
dude, Rich Gannon. He let Brad Johnson win a Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Like, you look, the guys that he took to another level. And Favre was great already, but he wasn't viewed as the way he is now until Gruden was his quarterback's coach. He was
in a league in which you can draft head coaches. How much does a scandal like this cost? We established that like racial slurs are like minus 50 points.
Well,
is that for like the whole year? Or?
We would have to get a new coach, bro. He's not even a head coach anymore.
That's
IR for coach. Yeah.
You don't, but that's a very good point. But the actual way it works with the head coach is it's just wins and losses. It doesn't matter who's coaching the team. You're basically betting on whether the team is going to win or lose, and that's how you get head coach points. So but you get more or less depending on how much they win or lose by. So it's a fun little twist that I want to incorporate at some point. I play it in one of our other leagues and I love it. And you can also pull them out. You can like not play a coach. So that's part of it too. It's like, if I don't like, because you only get to keep one, I think, at a time on your team. It's a fun twist. We'll get around to it eventually. The Lions didn't lose. So shout out to the Lions for not
losing. What a gross game.
They tied a similar record.
They tied the Steelers.
So gross.
Yeah, it felt like a moral victory for the Lions. I'm not gonna lie.
But they all
kept turning the ball over back and forth. That shit looked comical. Game was what is happening.
It was so ugly. It was so good. But I'm really good. I felt good for the Lions because they didn't lose. And I felt even better that the Steelers got a tie on their resume because it just looks, dirty. it looks bad.
Like two teams actively trying not to win. They just did everything they possibly could.
It was not impressive.
How do you guys feel about that new rule with the tiebreaker a couple of years ago? You guys think they should keep playing until they win, or?
Well, they are in the playoffs, that's for sure. But that's all it's been. Yeah, you know, I'd like to see him keep playing until they win. I think that'd be fun. But it's such a long season. They had an extra game already, so they're like, that would be, I don't know. It's like you're already worried about players getting hurt and playing extra games and more time. And it's like if you add a rule like that, and who knows, they could still be playing. Those teams were bad. They might still like. Have you guys checked in on the Lions Steelers game yet recently? I mean, it's been a day and a half. So yeah, I get why they're not doing it. So couple players I want to just touch on real quick. Adrian Peterson, we talked about him a couple weeks ago. Vital, you were like, he's never going to get on the field. And is
that what I said?
I'm pretty sure that's what you said. Yeah, you said that.
I said Adrian Peterson is not going to be Adrian Peterson in 2012. He's not going to be as good as he was.
But he's still, the other teams are still like I said he's going to get early down work, which he is, and he's going to be serviceable, which is what they need him to be. They need him to be able to pick up a blitz, which he can still do. They have him on the field a fair bit. And when he does touch the ball, he still has a little pop. He's still got a little razzle dazzle, man. Like, this
guy scored 3 points and Nick wants to bring it up. Like,
I just want to bring it up because he's going to be relevant going down the stretch. Dude, he's definitely going to be a starter in our league for sure.
For 3 points.
Oh yeah, because you guys are low on running backs, right?
We're real low on running backs. We're hurting on running backs.
If you're low on running backs, you still don't want a 3-point running back. I want to make that clear.
He got 9 the first week. I'm just saying he's touchdown dependent, but he's going to be on the field. He even caught a pass, I think, last week. So, it's not a great situation for him, but he's on the field and he's in the mix. So it's just
do you know his attempts?
I just like Adrian Peterson. I like seeing him touch the ball. He's still got that flash. He's still got that juice. You can see it in his step. He's not got the endurance that he once did, and certainly not the breakaway speed anymore. But I bet he has a couple of respectable games going down the stretch here. He's going to be a guy that people throw in there as a dart throw.
I think maybe as a dart throw. I don't think it's going to pay out.
Dude, Stephanie played Myles Gaskin again this week, and he got her 5. So,
Gaskin's inconsistent.
Cam Newton, is he going to be playable? That's a bigger question.
No,
he's starting. No.
I think he gets used in their red zone package, and it was really good. It was like 2 for 4, right? But like, I think. Yeah, I know, but
they said they might start him this week. They said he's going to take first team reps. They might start him.
He barely took any snaps that game. He
is going to start, but you don't play him.
Yeah, I don't.
Even with Christian McCaffrey coming back healthy, you don't play him. You don't think McCaffrey gives him some value? Okay, that's fair.
Lando, what do you think?
I think it's very playable in 2 quarterback leagues. I just wouldn't yet. He just walked in to the practice area and he was already walking into touchdowns. Like,
they had no scheme for him. They had no, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't prepared for Cam Newton.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was going to give you a couple of really good games, and then the defenses are just going to zone in on him, and he's going to disappear.
They probably ran some play that they ran 5 years ago with him when he was on the team. You know what I mean? Like, they probably put in some old play.
It was a quarterback power. It was straight up. Like, they were like, we're going to run it down your throat with Cam Newton, and they did. Yeah. I think from a football standpoint, though, it is going to be interesting to see him with a healthy McCaffrey. We haven't seen that in a while. Cam Newton with a healthy McCaffrey on that team and a great defense. That might be a winning recipe. They're in position to make the playoffs right now. So we could see Cam Newton starting a playoff game this year. How about that for the Panthers? That's gonna be interesting. That's
the craziest part. All the teams we guessed, no one said the Panthers.
That was not part of the plan. So, and then the last player that I wanted to bring up moving was Odell Beckham going to the Rams.
See you tonight.
And then immediately after that, in terms of fantasy impact, Robert Woods tears his ACL in practice. So boom, starting lineup, right? I mean, you're throwing him right in there. You have to. I think he's got to learn the playbook, obviously, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a Sean McVay offense. There's a lot happening. I don't think we'll see him full. I don't think he'll start every play tonight, but he's going to get on the field and he's going to be heavily utilized. It looks like going down the stretch in that offense. So we could see Odell Beckham in the playoffs. with a contender, which is also something we're not used to seeing. Opposite, another really good receiver. So, yeah, exciting stuff. Some names we thought, there was talk, I believe, earlier this year, maybe from other members of the podcast, who said he might be done for the rest of done for his career. No more Odell Beckham.
Nick loves to bring this up. Like he might be done. Like, and he still might be done. He literally got cut from his team. Like, relax.
Yeah, he's also starting for a Super Bowl contender tonight.
Because someone tore the ACL. He still might not be good. Like, watch him play first.
We're gonna find out.
We have to see. This is gonna be interesting. Like, this is his last chance to some degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
this is his Antonio Brown situation from last year, I think, right?
I played out pretty well for Antonio Brown.
It did. It worked out really well for him. But you know what? He's got a great quarterback. Matt Stafford's got a great arm. He's very accurate, and he's going to have every opportunity to show that he's still got it. We'll touch real quick on injuries. Baker Mayfield's day-to-day. Also not very good at football, it looks like, again. So
I told you guys that.
You did. You have told us that. Chase Young, we said Chase Young's out for the year. Not now from a fantasy perspective. Maybe that affects whether or not
if you have a Washington defense.
Yeah, if you watch the Washington defense, but they still looked good.
Which nobody should have.
Nobody should. They've not been playing well until yesterday. Aaron Jones is going to miss 1 to 2 weeks, they're saying, with an MCL sprain. That certainly has playoff implications fantasy-wise. Dallas Goedert got a concussion. I don't know if he's going to be in or out next week. Those are the big injuries that jumped off the board. Waivers, I like. Go out and load up if you need somebody to fill in for a bye week or for an injury. I say go load up on Patriots going against the Falcons next week. If there's any Patriots out there that are maybe Ramondre Stevenson, I actually got him in another league and threw him in last minute. He was fucking monster. He had a huge game. If he's out there in your league, go get him possibly. Any other Patriots that are available? Jacoby Myers. Who's their other receiver?
Aguilar.
Who?
Aguilar.
Maybe Aguilar. I don't think he had a big game. Myers and Kendrick Bourne, I think, are the bigger, but whatever.
Jacoby Myers finally caught a touchdown.
Finally got a touchdown. What was his streak? Like 2 years, 3 years?
It was over 1,500 yards. Never happened before.
Wow. Yeah, amazing.
And Mike Gesicki, 0 for 7.
0 for 7. No
catch a single pass.
So weird.
7.
He's so good.
It hasn't happened since 2015.
God, that's crazy. I think that's an aberration. I think Gesicki's a stud.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, he scored me 0 points, which was great.
So strange. So weird. AJ Dillon also with Aaron Jones out. Obviously, if AJ Dillon's available, go get him. He's going to be a starter. Mac Jones is, I think, against the Falcons, a good play if you need a quarterback. He had 3 touchdowns. He had a nice week. A couple other guys out there potentially. Elijah Moore has been very consistent for the Jets the last few weeks. He's gotten some garbage time work and some garbage time touchdowns, but you know what? Those points still count, and he's got talent. Marquez Callaway had an okay game for the Saints. He's a guy you can maybe throw in there. Ray McLeod for the Steelers, with 2 of their starting wide receivers out right now. He's getting a lot of action. And and the Dolphins defense have a nice matchup next week against the Jets. So if you believe in the Dolphins and you believe in what they did against the Ravens, I think you probably want to bet on them against the Jets. I bet they're going to be a pretty hot waiver pickup this week. Dolphins defense might be the number 1 waiver potentially, depending on your league. All right, let's go to, we're going to do worst quarterback picks. I was telling Lando about this. I'd rather have Kaepernick than, which we've forgotten to mention the title in recent weeks, but yeah.
Great title, by the way.
Great title. I'd rather have Kaepernick than. This past weekend, I'd rather have Kaepernick than. We all picked bad quarterbacks. They all played poorly. Let's see. Vital picked Taylor Heineke. He actually didn't play bad, but he didn't score a lot of points. 11.74. Pretty disrespectful, but he did get the win. Lonnie picked PJ Walker, who got obviously got vultured by Cam. So that was a good move. 5.28, a very disrespectful 5.28. I got Mike White I predicted that he would come back to earth, and he gave me the old 1.04. Very nice. So this week in I'd Rather Have Kaepernick Than, we have a lot of difficult situations to navigate, and we're actually going to pick it on the show because we haven't been able to do this the last few weeks, but we're already set. There's a lot of question marks as to who is playing.
I already know who I'm picking, bro.
Well, that's good because you're going first. So hit us with it.
Oh, all right. My boy Jared Goff faces the Bills.
Good old Goff is back in the mix. I like that. That's a great.
Been a while, dog. You think I forgot about him?
Yeah. Who's he playing? Who are they playing? They're playing a pretty
Bills.
tough. Bills. Oh, ew, yeah. Okay. Good pick. Lonnie.
Aren't they playing? Wait. What week are we in now?
It's going to be week 11.
So the Bills are playing the Colts.
Oh, so who is Goff playing?
Goff is playing the Browns.
Cleveland. He's playing Cleveland.
Can I redo?
Yeah, of course. You can still repick. Yeah. So let's go through this list, though, because it's not easy to pick. Carolina is a question mark as to who that quarterback's going to be, and they're playing Washington, which is not a great team. Who else is questionable? The Cardinals, we don't know if it's going to be what's his name? If Murray's probably going to be back. So
at this point.
Dolphins, we don't know for sure if Tua's playing, but I think he's probably playing. But they're playing against the Jets. Justin Fields against the Ravens. Roethlisberger is probably going to be
Tyrod Taylor versus the Titans.
Tyrod Taylor, that was the other one. Yep, Tyrod Taylor against the Titans. That's a good pick.
Daniel Jones versus the Bucks.
Man, Jones has been good this year, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. Those sacks might sack.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, but he's playing Detroit. So Trevor Simeon at Philly. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence against the 49ers. That's another one. He's been.
Yeah, that's the one I was actually.
You're thinking about that one? All right.
I think I'll go with Trevor Lawrence.
You're going to go Lawrence?
Yeah.
Okay. Lonnie, you get next pick. I know this is a tough week.
Tough week.
Lando, who do you like? Since you're not part of the actual contest, or actually wait till we pick ours. But you pick, and you can pick one of our guys. Who you think is going to be the worst quarterback in fantasy this week? And by the way, our rule is if they don't start, it's a disqualification. So like if we pick them, they have to start. Yeah. So Lonnie already got one DQ this year with Davis Mills because Tyrod came back that game. Trying to look at some of the other guys.
I'll think of one and I'll wait until you guys pick them.
Yeah,
right?
Wait till we pick it. Yeah. Man, Heineke at Carolina. There's that one also.
I think that Daniel Jones and Bucks one looks good too.
You like that one, huh?
The Bucks. The thing is the Bucks defense gives up yards. Like their secondary gives up yards.
Yeah.
Carolina's secondary is pretty good. New England secondary is pretty good.
New England secondary. Who's New England playing again?
Matt Ryan.
Ooh. Matt Ryan he'll give you a good one, then he'll give you a bad one.
That's what I was gonna say, man.
Yeah.
He knows how to throw.
He might get up for that game against the Patriots, man.
Super Bowl rematch,
Yeah, dude. It's his feelings.
Big loss last week.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday night game.
A Thursday night game. There could be some bounce back. Well, I feel like the Thursday night games favor the defenses, not the offenses. But
yeah, but also Patriots won by a lot. They could be tired. They were running.
They were the defense wasn't playing a lot in that Patriots game. They were off the field. They got a lot of rest, I think, in that game. They were not on the field. They were running the ball hard against the Falcons. You got Joe Burrow against the Raiders. That's probably not a good pick. I don't know, man. I'm looking.
All right, I'm going to do Goff against Cleveland.
Goff? Okay. Goff against Cleveland.
I couldn't pick between him or Justin Fields, but
I'm looking at Fields and Taylor. Taylor's good though. He's not gonna make a lot of mistakes. That's the thing about Taylor. Fields might make some big mistakes. Man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go ahead and take Fields. He's already won me a couple of those. All right, what do you got, Lando? Who do you like as worst quarterback this week? Or you can give us one of the guys we didn't pick too, also.
All right, I kind of like Trevor Simeon this week. I think he's had like 3 solid weeks in a row, and I think that's partly because defenses haven't had a time to scheme for him yet. He's going against Philly, who hasn't looked terrible. I think that's like a sneaky 2-interception game waiting to happen.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I could see them getting down too and him throwing some picks. Yeah, so that makes sense. I could, definitely interesting to throw that one in there. What else was I thinking about in there? I don't know. Okay, good. All right, so teasers are on a bad slide. A couple big upsets, but that's okay. You know, those upsets, that's what gets you. There's always balance. So 5-3 on teasers, still not terrible for the year. But looking to bounce back this week, maybe I might take a look at some of those stronger defensive teams, possibly for this week, because it's the consistency on offense is what's been kind of getting us the last couple of weeks. I had the Bucks and the Dolphins games both picked as part of our teaser, and not good. So we'll look to do better on teasers next week. And tonight we got winning this game, and then we'll do our DraftKings pick. It's tough to squeeze that budget.
Fucking losing at DraftKings, you know.
Trying to make that number work.
Trying to make this number. I don't know. Like I can't find anybody who costs negative $500.
Yeah, if I can get that, we're right on. You're gonna get your ass kicked.
I'm having a hard time. There's a couple guys on injured reserve, but I still can't afford them.
Okay, I'm gonna live wild today in DraftKings.
I also lived a little wild because I have nothing to fucking lose. All right.
Yeah,
I'm dangerous right now in DraftKings.
You got a lot. You got a lot.
No. Listen,
you were close last game.
Listen, I've been close the last couple of weeks. I have changed my strategy just a skosh, but like this is me right now. I'm basically. You ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket? Like. I'm like one of those Marines that just accepted that they're dead already. Okay, like, I'm just living life dangerously at this point. I'm dead. I'm a dead man. So I'm free.
That's a dangerous man, though. That's a dangerous man.
Every Henderson. He could be. Or Derek, I don't even know his name. He could be my captain. Who knows?
So, like, what do you guys find that's effective? Does it generally make more sense to put most of your money in like the quarterback if you know it's going to be a good matchup? Because I mean, this is a divisional game.
I mean, I would usually go with a quarterback unless your quarterback's not good, then a receiver, because receivers usually don't get negative points. But usually, if the quarterback's like the captain of that team, and holding it down, the heart of the team, then probably pick.
Yeah, I mean, because I have like full trust on Matthew Stafford, just in like most game scenarios, but in something like this divisional matchup Monday night, I think that type of player is worth the investment, like right now.
Who you like tonight? Lando, you want to go first?
Sure. That's a toughie. I like how the Rams scheme up against the San Francisco defense. I don't think that they're going to be able to keep them at like 14, 21 points by like the third quarter, because I think that's where San Francisco feels comfortable playing, because then they could just jet sweep and they could use the running game. I think the Rams are just going to come at them and hit them exactly how they're supposed to. I think that's going to be a high scoring game, but I like the Rams.
Okay. Vital, what do you got? What do you got?
I like the 49ers because I need to believe that the Rams are going to do well for my fantasy dreams. So I picked the 49ers. They're going to be fantastic. And I also put it so far as putting Jimmy. Oh, no, I'll talk about my DraftKings thing.
Okay, we're almost there. So you got the Niners, and you're all in on the Niners. This is a trap.
Gotta believe, dude.
Yeah, divisional game. I think it's gonna be tough. Lonnie, who you got? Rams or Niners?
I got the Rams all the way. 35-21. Big win. Big statement win. You got a lot of shuffling. The Rams are going for broke. Von Miller, OBJ. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. They're going to show you tonight. I got Matthew Stafford as my captain for DraftKings. I think he's going to light it up.
All right. Also, I'm going with the Rams tonight. I like Lonnie's. I think your point total is probably pretty close. That's kind of what I expect. I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be competitive into the fourth quarter. But I think the Rams will pull away at that point, early in the fourth, maybe late in the third.
And Cooper Kupp is your captain.
Cooper Kupp is my captain. You got it. Vital, who's your captain tonight?
Cooper Kupp. It was almost Jimmy Garoppolo, but
you didn't believe in the Niners that much.
I didn't believe it that hard, but I really considered it. That was that last decision about the 10th. I was like,
okay. All right. And then Lando, who you got for your captain tonight?
I got Matthew Stafford. I like him against those San Francisco corners. I think he's gonna put in work tonight.
I almost also went with Stafford tonight, but I love the way he targets Kupp and their connection. So I was like, I think he's going to outscore Stafford a little bit. But yeah, I love both of them tonight. All right. Should be a fun game to watch. So how many guys are coming up to the mic? I know Lonnie's
coming right now. I'm coming with,
Nando, you're coming?
I'm going to go pick up Aaron.
Cool.
And I will be there shortly.
All right.
Yeah. I texted Zach. I should be there in an hour because I'm in
Sounds
Green
good.
Acres, so I got that.
Vital, what are you doing?
I'm not going to make it to this one.
That's okay.
We all could have a reunion.
I know. See you guys in an hour. Okay, cool. You guys got anything else you want to plug before we get off the air? Any shows coming up? Big stuff?
I will be at the Miami Improv December 8th with the Jacked Up Comedy Show.
Yeah.
First time at the Miami Improv, so that'll be fun.
Congratulations. That's going to be awesome. Vital, anything you got coming?
Yeah. Sorry, looking at the date. This Saturday, I'm gonna be at Just the Funny with Dan Castle, Abby Ballin, and Jesse Cohen.
Nice. Oh, nice. I'll slide by for that.
That's nice.
I love their crowd is so good. You can have.
It's my first time. I'm excited because I know you told me to check them out. Yeah,
it's so fun. You might not have a big crowd, but it's gonna be a good crowd. Pretty much guarantee. And then Lando, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, this week I got Imperial Motto on Thursday at 7, and then from there I'm driving to West Palm Beach. Corey Cognac is having a comedy contest at Hakuna Matata.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be there 8:30, and then I'm doing the Coop this Friday. They're doing like a little showcase, so it was exciting.
Awesome. Nice. All right, that sounds great. I don't think I have anything big. I got I'm doing a private show on Saturday. So I don't know where that is.
Showing us privates.
Yeah, that's what I do. So I don't even, nobody can come to it. I don't even know where it is yet. It's a mystery private show. So Charlie just booked me on it today. I don't know what we're doing.
Love those.
Nick's doing comedy at an orgy, folks.
Comedy. It's going to be fun. Hey.
It'll be the first time.
That's right. It might be last time. Okay, well, for everybody who watches and listens, thank you guys for watching. You can watch us on YouTube and our YouTube channel, Fantasy TE. You can also listen to us on Google Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, and Bullhorn, and some other ones too. I forgot all of them. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Lando, thank you for joining us. It's great having you, man.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll see you guys soon. All right.
See you soon.
All right.
Later, guys.